my name is Cait, and welcome to the next stop on the path of the magical sisterhood of the traveling book box. Started with Alan from the Library of Alexandria, and it is traveling through all of us back to Fine, who has organized this whole thing. So I hope you are enjoying all of the videos so far, and we have a couple more before it gets back to Fine. I have been super excited to participate in this. This is the current state of the box. I think it started with 10 books, and however many I take out, I put that many back in. Basic explanation of the whole process. Anyway, let's find out what's in here, which I will do with my tiny little pocket knife. It is pretty thoroughly taped. Apparently I needed a sharper knife. Whew, okay. So the first book is The Wall by John Lanchester, which looks like it is a dystopian story. 1984 for our times, according to Michael Lewis. Interesting. Oh, nice. Next one is Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter, which I have heard is a very intense fantasy featuring Tao, the ever angry main character. Interesting. I do really like that cover. That is a sweet cover. Ooh. The next one is Radicalized by Cory Doctorow. I have read some other books by Doctorow, and he is a fantastic blogger about tech and copyright and all kinds of stuff, so that is super cool. This is another dystopian. It sounds really interesting. Of course. And we have a copy of Green Rider, which is a great fantasy series. I have read this one before, so I'll be passing that one along, but definitely one I'd recommend. Ooh. This is another one that I have and would also recommend, Justice of Kings, which is, it reminds me a lot of Witcher, to be honest, but I just love this cover. And the back of it is also super sweet. So yeah, this is a great one. Ooh, nice. And an arc for Ordinary Monsters. This one recently made a appearance on my mid-year book freakout tag because I really do want to get to this one, but I actually already own it. So I will pass that along to the next person. It is as far as I understand it, sort of Victorian X-Men-ish. So it sounds great. Ooh, nice. This is a copy of The Gunslinger by Stephen King. I read this quite a few years ago, but I really like the look of this cover. That is super cool. I've been wanting to reread it, so there's definitely some temptation there. Then we have Nine Fox Gambit by Yoon-Ha Lee. This is a space opera that comes highly recommended by Angela over at Literature Science Alliance. I do also have this one on my shelves that I would really like to get to, but haven't yet. So this is a great choice. Then we have The Pariah by Anthony Ryan, which I've heard great things about, but I have not read it, so that's another tempting one. I think Bloodsong is the one that I most know Anthony Ryan for, but this definitely sounds like an interesting first book in an epic fantasy series. And then the final one in here is Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. I do own this one. This one is actually the only Sanderson book that I have already read, and I loved it. So that's definitely one I would recommend as well. That's everything in the box. I'm going to look over these and decide which ones that I want to keep. And however many I take, I will replace that many and come back and let you know what they are. Okay, I am back and have made my choices. So I am going to be keeping The Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter. This one just sounds really interesting. I think it's supposed to be African inspired, and I do like military fantasy, and it seems like it might have some of that in there. So I'm curious to actually check this one out and see how I feel. And I don't mind a rage-filled protagonist, so that I think might work really well for me. Then I'm also going to keep Radicalized by Cory Doctorow. I have definitely enjoyed his books in the past. This one actually looks like it's 4 different stories. But I'm very curious to see more kind of tech-influenced dystopian, which is what he tends to do really well. So super excited for this one. And I couldn't resist the cover for The Gunslinger. I just absolutely love the look of this one, the purple and the crow and everything, and I have really been wanting to try rereading this one, so I'm going to keep it and hopefully finally continue on The Dark Tower, because I have only ever read this one. And then the last one that I'm going to be keeping is The Pariah by Anthony Ryan. I've heard great things about this. It sounds kind of like it might have Robin Hood vibes. But I'm very curious to check this one out, so I am going to keep that one. Now, I will pick 4 books of my own that I am going to be adding back in to pass along to the next person, who is Chas from Bookish Chas. Alright, so I had a number of books that I picked out, and I can't decide which ones that I want to send on. So even though it's slightly more than I took out of the box, I think I'm going to just go ahead and put all of them in there. Hopefully people will find some of these fun. The first one I'm going to add is We Could Be Heroes by Mike Chen. I read this, I think, last year, and I really enjoyed the superhero part of it. And I thought it kind of reminded me of like some of the CW like superhero shows, and I think people might really enjoy that one, so I'm going to add that one in. I'm also going to add Ironcast by Destiny Soria, and I actually haven't read this one, but I think I'm just going to pass it along because I think others might enjoy it more than me. It is a young adult where you have, I think it's 1919, and I believe it's set in New York City, but basically there's 2 young girls, an heiress and an immigrant's daughter, who end up having magic that I believe is related to music and art, and they use that at the kind of gangster club that they're employed at, and end up getting in some trouble for one of their illicit jobs, basically. And so they end up having to help each other out. The magic system seems super cool. I love this cover. I just don't think I'm going to have time for it, so I want to pass it along to someone who might enjoy it more. This one I had to throw in because it's a tiny little novella that I got in a book box, and it sounds intriguing, but I'm not a huge time travel person, so I felt like, again, it's another one that I think others might enjoy more than me, but it's basically the main character's brother commits suicide, but one of her aunties gives her a potion that could send her back in time to when her brother was still alive, and she's basically just trying to keep him alive, but of course messing with the past has consequences. So that's what this story is. And I couldn't resist sending along a copy of The Wee Freemen by Terry Pratchett. I know not everybody loves The Wee Freemen. I think Alan in particular isn't the biggest fan of it. But I absolutely love this series. Tiffany is a fantastic main character, a very strong-willed young woman who's learning to be a witch and has to save her brother. She's super practical, super smart. I just adore Tiffany. So I hope there's someone along the way who hasn't gotten to this yet, because I really, really think it's worth giving the Wee Freeman a shot. Just great sense of humor and super fun. And then the last one I'm adding in is the Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah. I actually got a different copy of this one, and I know it's been getting a lot of hype lately, so I figured hopefully there's someone along the line who hasn't read this yet and has been wanting to. It is a Middle Eastern inspired fantasy featuring a jinn bodyguard, and I think the main character hunts and sells illegal magic, basically, and ends up having to do a quest for the king. So that one, it is a book of the month version of this, but hopefully this will be enticing. That is everything I am adding into the box and what I took out. I hope this has been fun for you guys to watch, as fun as it has been for me to be part of this. I love the surprise of getting a box of books and being able to send more along to somebody else. Please make sure that you check the rest of the videos in this series, because I can't wait to see what everybody's choices were. Thanks again, and see you in the next one. Bye!